change will apply. So that legacy may not change like that. There's a need for training. There's a need for training to the manager also, maybe to some sort like by owners also need to train themselves in these areas. So that is where our aim and objective of GCCI is, and in that we have tied up with RAI, which is currently a very strong body that is representing retailers all over the country, along with CAIT. CAIT is doing compliance more, and they are doing more on training part and taking up the issues with the government. So we have requested them to come down to Goa, because it's difficult for local retailers, traders to go there, waste their time 2 days and then stay in a hotel, a lot of expense. So if we can have it here, and so they have accepted it. With this, we in future will be conducting more such training sessions for them to update them and to also bring what is required and what is happening and what is implemented nationally and what people in the trade know which is required for us to sustain. So that is our whole objective. Thank you.
So all the program details have been comprehensively covered by Mr. Kapulu and Mr. Kaul. In conclusion, I would only like to say that the program has been curated. The program has been curated, taking into needs, just like Mr. Kaul said, the time needs of our retailers and who are mostly occupied in the daily operations of the business. So within a short period of time, within 1 day's time, a holistic approach or a holistic knowledge can be given, and then later on the participants can delve into it more, and so the program duration and the kind of expertise we are bringing to Goa through the national organizations that are associated with the program is of immense benefit to all the retailers and the other fraternity members in Goa, and they should take benefit of it. Through your medium, we would like to appeal to all the members of our retail community to participate and take benefit of the program. Thank you.
I will just add a little bit to what Manoj sir, Professor and Harikal said. The thing is, one is very important which we forget is that contribution of retail to GDP, it is almost 10 to 12%. So India's total GDP 12% comes from the retail sector, and it is expected to reach up to 15% of the GDP in the next year, 2025. You'll be surprised to know that 5 crore people of the Indian population are working in the retail sector today, and almost 20 to 25 lakhs of jobs are created in the retail sector. Now, the other way around, if you see, organized retail is 12 to 15%, but unorganized retail, which is existing, it is 85 to 88% today in India. Okay, and the key challenges, as Manoj sir said, is the retail dominance is being challenged by these giants like e-commerce giants which are important. There are employment issues in retail sector like low wages, limited job security, lack of formal training, and this is where GCCI has come in today to bring in this training program for retailers. As Harikal sir said, it is very difficult for a person to go to Bombay or say to Delhi and attend this program, traveling cost, staying cost. So we have made it a nice package so that the people in Goa will benefit. To add further a little bit on that, the chamber has been following up on the retail policy. Recently we have resubmitted the retail policy to the government. So some sort of welfare schemes and some sort of protection comes for the retail sector. Over and that, there is some positive development also happening. The Retail Welfare Board has been created at the center, and a similar board is being in process now that DITC, that is Department of Industries, will be formally, shortly they will be formulating this board in Goa. So my request to all of you who have come here is to promote this event to the maximum extent and to see that the people of Goa, especially the retail sector, are benefited. Thank you. We can take some questions.
Is there any retailer and traders ची गोव्यात किती संख्या आहे आणि एक्झॅक्ट रिटेलरचा मेजर इश्यू काय आहे?
So, it's a estimate, rough estimate. There are around 20 to 25,000 retailers, traders, wholesalers, which are right now existing in Goa, and the rough estimate is that they are directly generating employment of 1.6 lakhs, and 40,000 people are associated, which are getting indirectly employment through the retail trade in Goa. It is contributing, as Sanjay ji already said, 10 to 12% into the GDP. Because as we all know, in Goa, major contribution to GDP is coming from the hospitality sector, followed by the retail sector. So which is very important, and but they are all connected through various organizations. So we also don't have full complete data, how to reach out to all of them and how we can help. But my request is that whatever we can do in that regard to reach out to them, and they all can come under one roof. It is easy for us. Separate, they may have separate issues which they can handle directly with the government or various ministries, but with common minimum program kind of a thing, that all retailers have, all traders, restaurant guys have same common issues like training. That's an issue. Compliance is an issue. Number of licenses to be taken, how we can make single window clearance for all of them, and how updates like this can come through a portal. So there's a nodal agency that can help to monitor all that, and all these updates are available to them, because they are so busy in their own work on daily basis that they don't have time to go for these kind of things. So how we can make it available through an app to them? So we have already suggested it in our trade policy to the government, which we had submitted earlier in 2020 and has been resubmitted now. So I think that is going to work in a larger way for Goa trade, how it can encourage entrepreneurship, it can develop trade, and that Goa, where we recognize Goa for sun, sand and sea, maybe another feather can be added: shopping. When people go for Dubai for shopping, why can't we say Goa, sun, sand, sea and shopping? We want to see every tourist carrying the bag when they are returning back to their home. So we have to make shopping convenient for them, pleasurable for them. Something that is they are taking back in addition to all the memories from Goa.
म्हणून सर किती रिस्पॉन्स अपेक्षित आहे तुम्हाला वर्कशॉपसाठी?
आमची कॅपॅसिटी जास्त नाही आहे, हॉलची कॅपॅसिटी तेवढीच आहे. सो माझ्या मते आम्हाला अबाउट 60 to 70 लोक तरी अपेक्षित आहेत जे नक्की येतील. पण काय आहे, ह्या पहिल्या आम्ही प्रोग्रामवर आम्हाला रिस्पॉन्स कळेल. जर समजा जास्ती रिस्पॉन्स झाला, सगळ्यांना जर आता आम्ही रजिस्टर करू नाही शकलो, आम्ही हा रिपीट करू शकतो. कारण ह्या गोष्टी ज्या आहेत ह्या बेसिक नेसेसिटी आहेत. दिस इज नो लॉंगर अन ऑप्शन. Whatever we are covering is no longer, I'll shift to English so that it's no longer an option. These are mandatory. Like Hari said earlier, in our earlier generations, things used to happen. You could manage. But today the work environment is completely changed. Whether it is your competition, whether it is the compliances, whether it is your overall scenario, consumer expectation. So, and I think consumer is entitled to have those expectations from a retailer. So, as a retailer, it is our duty to meet those expectations. Because today, you see, you order something online with XYZ sites. They say you order, if you don't like it, you return it within 7 days or 10 days. This thought was never there. We used to hold shops, once sold, it's sold. No return policy and all this kind of stuff. So all those days are gone. Today things have changed. So we have to change. Our mentality has to change with the changing times, with the expectations of the newer consumer. So that is the focus of this.
Sir, आता रिटेलरसाठी ना एक आव्हान बनले. Amazon, फ्लिपकार्ट याच्यावरती जो बिझनेस चालला आहे त्यामुळे रिटेलरना खूप माल बसलेला आहे. त्यासाठी तुमचं काय आहे आता, हे जे करता तुम्ही त्यामध्ये तुम्ही काय असं करणार की त्यामध्ये?
आता हे बघा, आय विल स्टार्ट इन मराठी and then I'll shift to
सर आमचा मराठी पेपर असल्यामुळे मराठी
नाही मी मराठी फुल देऊ शकतो उत्तर, पण बाकीच्या
मराठी पेपर आहे आमचा. आम्ही
आज काय झालंय की आता जे दिवस गेले, जे तुम्ही विचार करत होता आय एम ओनली गोइंग टू फाईट, मला जरा हे काय चाललंय, अनफेअर कॉम्पिटिशन आहे, गव्हर्नमेंटकडे कंप्लेन करा, कंप्लेन हिअर कंप्लेन देअर, ई कॉमर्स कंपनीज आर डिस्काउंटिंग दिस दॅट, गॉन आर द डेज. It is here to stay. It is for us retailers to change and fight them. We cannot just say all of a sudden sit and cry, Amazon did this, Flipkart did this. It is going to stay, nothing can change. Whether it is fair or unfair is a different story. It is for the ministry at the central level which is handling this matter. Because there was unfair practices happening by them, no doubt about it, which you must be aware. Now the Central Commerce Ministry is handling it. They are fining these people very heavily for unfair trade practices. Then Competition Commission of India is also fining them for unfair practices. All these things will happen. But that doesn't mean that I am going to sit here and cry. We have to fight. Now, how can we fight? Why can we not improve our service levels? It starts with that. Why is that attitude, I will sit in my shop like this and you will come here guys and again other words? Those days are gone. I have to get up from on my feet and provide that customer service. I think this is what is coming into the picture. And if there is someone who is not going to fight, he is going to vanish. See, one thing is for sure, whether it is e-commerce, whether it is bigger malls, whatever it is, but small mom and pop shops, brick and mortar stores will remain. India is such a diverse country, culturally we are different. And if you see, after all these big shops and bigger outlets in the US, if you see the latest report, the bigger outlets are closing down. The bigger outlets are closing down in Americas. It's basically shifting towards either e-commerce or smaller outlets, which will be much more viable. So fortunately for us, we are here still very much with the mom and pop and brick and mortar outlets, and I am sure it is here to stay. So retailers should not get worried, only you should empower yourself to fight this. How to fight them is where we come into picture as an association, how to empower our retailers to take on the might of these people. Because we might not have the financial strength of these people, but we do have the numbers. We do have the numbers in the retailers, and we do have the goodwill which we have built up in our communities, and that is here to stay.
So is it GCCI have done this kind of workshop before? Or this is the first time?
For the retail specific sector, this is the first time. However, GCCI is always at the forefront in doing various kind of workshops. Like for example, I said GST is an issue which is applicable for everybody. So GCCI will do a workshop for GST. In that retailers will be there, manufacturers will be there, and everybody will come. Then GCCI will do such a workshop on labor laws, wherein all entire industry spectrum will attend. Whereas this is specifically only for the retailers, wherein all specific points only related to retail will be addressed.
What is the support from the government?
For this, I am sure government will wish us very good for conducting this program, because that is all that we expect from the government at this point of time. And the success of this program, we will be able to, sort of enforce our request to the government, because we have been after the Goa government to come up with a retail policy. A draft document has already been submitted by us on a couple of occasions to the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, Directorate of Industries and Commerce, and we have also had meetings with the ministers on this. So I am sure with the kind of movement that we have started to benefit the retail and the trade, government will help us coming out with this retail trade policy. Also, I would like to inform you one thing, how we are working is that we have found out that there was a shortage of manpower requirement in the retail. You study commerce, you study arts, you study law, you study management, X, Y, Z. There is no subject which is covered of retail. So we are very closely working with Goa University, trying to convince them into coming out with a full course on retail. However, it was not possible to do a full course, but however, what they have done is they have inserted certain credits or some weeks of training and all this thing in the BCom curriculum. First year and second year curriculum of BCom, they have inserted some topics on retail. Because generally what happens is that who comes to work in the retail? See, or retailers don't want BBAs and MBAs. Just you should know how to only understand the nuances of the trade, know to speak good language, English or local language, and do a little bit of billing, which today is everything is organized and computerized. So, but you should have that, like for example, simple things. Gone are the days when shopkeepers used to open things from the box and running around the world. Gone are the days. Today, visual merchandising in itself is a subject. How you display your product, how it attracts the attention, how to put your product in a particular place so that it attracts more attention than the other product. All this is a study has been done. So now we are trying to train our retailers onto this.
I have other questions. Youth are most important for the retailer because upcoming generation as a AI develops and the defense system. How do you specify that thing? For the now youths are growing more.
Correct.
So in youth they say AI is coming up. So how that will affect for these things, retailers?
See, retail is considered as mother of all industries. Retail is helping in job creation in all other industries. Whether you see through AI, whether what is getting manufactured in some factory is coming finally to the retailer to reach it to the end consumer. So retail is there. Anybody who is associated with any other industry tries always to sell finally the product through the retail distribution. Okay. Very few are selling directly. So the person who is working in the retail understands that and is like jack of all trades. He has to have knowledge of everything. Now you see someone is in the food business. He has to understand all those products which are manufactured by somebody, multiple factories, and they are finally sold from one particular place. This person needs to have some knowledge about it. Like your sir said that labeling is also a very important topic for him to understand how the label should be put. There's a department of the government to check all these labels, then the dates, all these things are very important. So when students, as students in the colleges, we also go from GCCI side to various colleges to promote about retail and request students that they should opt for this. But they are not encouraged because it was not taught there. There are not special courses on retail. Now it has been introduced little bit here and there. So wherein they are knowing about it, and with that retailer will get benefited because we will get a person who has some knowledge. Like if you talk about growth of hospitality industry, there is a proper institution that is training people in various areas. But for retailer, for trader or distributor, whatever, we get a raw material. Then we have to train them. Slowly, in 1, 2 years, 3 years, after fourth year, they will become confident about the trade and how they can work. But it does not come from the institution. So there is a gap, academia and industry gap. So there, whatever they have learned there, whether they have learned BSc or they have done BCom or they have done BA, that does not help them in the trade in the beginning. They can only use that knowledge after 3-4 years when they understand the basics of the trade. So if policy comes in and these courses there, people can opt for it, and then it will benefit to the trader. It will also benefit to those people that they can use this knowledge that they are gaining or short-term bridge courses that they are doing, and they are able to generate employment. Retailers are generating employment and they are able to generate income for them. So household income, whether through part-time jobs or full-time jobs. But as of now it is full-time job. But part-time job, there is no opportunity. So if in Goa we have to open showroom till 12 o'clock midnight because of the tourists, how are you going to do that?
That is a big question.
It's a big question. We have put in the policy
This is
that
what we are
he is
requesting the
allowed.
government.
He is allowed part-time employment.
You have requested for extended hours for shops in the policy.
It is not only that, it is basically working hours, then part-time. There is no concept of part-time employment. You have to employ an employee for the full and give him all the benefits. So there are a lot of deviations which will have to be taken for this retail trade. And all these are enumerated in the retail policy draft which we have given to the government.
any study been done for Goa, the impact on the small mom and pop brick and mortar stores, both from the e-commerce side, but also from all these compliances, the new compliances that have come in?
No formal study has been done about the e-commerce side. However, as far as the compliances are concerned, although no study has been done, we have been getting a lot of requests from retailers or complaints that we are getting again and again harassed by X department, Y department. Harassed in the sense, not in the, don't take me by the wrong sense of the word. What happens is that authorities go there, like as I gave an example of a labeling of a food product. The weights and measures department or FDA goes and checks a product. This it's a reputed brand of biscuits. I'll not name it. That is a reputed brand of biscuits. They have made an error in their dates and all those packing material things. It's an error on the part of them. But they say that as per law you are responsible. So he is fined. So this kind, which he was not aware of. If he was aware of, whenever he gets his consignment from big multinationals, first he will check the product, whether to accept it or no. That is what we want to educate them.
Is this one of the major complaints? Because you also mentioned about IP and copyright. Between these two, what is the bigger one?
No, I would say the weights and measures is the bigger one. Because today what has happened is food color, date of manufacture, date of expiry, weight, ingredients, the green dot, vegetarian, all these things have become, lot of such new requirements have come up from the, which are very good from the point of view of consumers. Because you have to declare whatever is there. So which is not happening from the part of the manufacturer, let us say. So why should a retailer or wholesaler suffer? That is what is happening.
So nowadays the cost of the products are increasing day by day, but some of the multinational companies are not giving much more margin to the retailer or wholesaler. The margin are remain same, the cost of the product is increasing. So this effect also.
Yes, of course, that is there, but that is, we cannot, as a trade body, we cannot get into every manufacturer and how much margin he gives to the retailers. But overall, what happens is there are different associations within the retail trade. Like for example, there is an association of all electronic, like computer dealers and all this. So they take it up with all these things. Then there is an association which covers all these mobile phones and all these things. Then there is an association of wholesalers of grains and all that thing. So they take them up themselves with their manufacturers.
This GCCI estimate of 25,000 retailers in Goa, that would include restaurants and all.
No, restaurant is
separate.
But this figure also is, you have to take it with a, because there is no, because it keeps on adding and deleting all this. Because as Sanjay has told you, 85% of the trade is unorganized. 85% is unorganized, who do not have any registrations, who do not have any compliances. And they are the ones who are suffering. Now, if you ask me, why don't they go for compliances? Because they office, I have to go to half a dozen offices, I have to do so much of paperwork and all. To avoid that, they are doing it. It's not that they want to cheat the government or cheat anybody. So that is what we want to educate them. And that is what we also want to appeal to the government. That's what we are, that to make it a single window clearance. So if I want to start a shop of selling, let us say, garments or shoes or a grocery shop, just make it simple for me. I have to go to FDA, I have to go to municipality, I have to go to labor department, I have to go to X department, Y department. All these permissions I need to get. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.